Okay, I'm going.
My name is Todd Boyce. I'm a woodworker for the past many years, but I've been in this room for 23 years making a lot of products, doors being one of them. Right now I'm the door maker at the Porch company, and we make the doors out of cypress. That's our wood of choice, and the question is, why cypress? Uh, the the properties of the cypress work very well for us. Let me rule out some other woods that are potentials or possibilities. If we were to use something like a walnut, this is what the wood looks like when we get it. It's in a rough, sawn, dried condition. Our wood is also dried to between 6 and 8% moisture content, so it's more stable. But perhaps we could have used walnut or a poplar or an oak. All the same reasons. One thing is that these are furniture woods that could be used as doors, but we don't have the longevity of being outside that we do find in cypress. This is a wood called eastern red cedar. It's a wide plank because it's glued up, but this is typical for chest, cedar chest for keeping out bugs and moths in traditional homes in America. It holds up really well outside. If you bury it in the ground, it won't rot, but for a very long time. But it has a lot of knots, a lot of structural defects, and it's a weak wood in a lot of ways. So that rules it out structurally for the use of a door, because although it does hold up well outside and it does resist bugs, it does not have the strength that we need. So what we do end up with is, this is what cypress looks like when we buy it in the rough state. This is a 8/4 or 2-inch thick piece of wood. After we mill it down and put it in a door, it becomes a 1 3/4 inch thick piece of wood. The reason that we like the cypress is, one thing, it has a chemical substance in it called cypressine, and bugs hate this. If you touch the wood, you might think it was a little oily. It's actually not. It takes finish very well. But bugs don't like it at all, and it holds up extremely well in wet conditions. I've taken this wood and I've buried it in the ground in my yard. Actually, I made a bird feeder out of a cypress stick, sharpen the stick and just stick it in the ground. And then every year we come back to, cycle the yard through the seasons, and I pull it out of the ground, and the wood, although dirty, looks pretty much like it did when I put it in the ground. So it just doesn't break down. It just takes a long time for cypress to break down. Cypress is known for growing in coastal wetlands, so that makes it a very good choice for outside. And it has the strength that we need. It's a lightweight wood and can be a little whippy. That is, if we made a door and didn't put any kind of strengthening in it, we might find a lot of motion in the door instead of remaining flat. So the way we build the doors is typical in this model, where we have the grooves for the screen to fit in. We integrate that into, we include that in the design of the construction, so that the pieces overlap. I'll just pull this apart as a model, and we have a pocket here and a pocket where these splines go. Everything fits tight, so it's a little bit of work to pull it apart. But we have what's called a slot or mortise in either side, and then we use a piece of wood, usually white oak, because it has the strength that I'm looking for. So I've chosen these woods purposefully for their properties. The oak goes in, it's called a floating spline. This is a technique that we see in Europe a lot, but this is traditional woodworking. You notice there's no mechanical fasteners, there's no bolts, there's no screws, there's nothing that if you were to put a saw into the door to alter it, that's going to have a problem when it encounters. Plus, when we include these splines that run through the joint, it actually has a stiffening effect. So the door achieves that flatness that we're looking for. It also achieves the lack of the whippiness, so that the motion or energy is not transferred from one piece to another in a way that it would move this way. The spline makes it move as one piece. The other way that we work with the cypress properties to get what we want is we increase the thickness. This piece of wood is under 1.5 inches. So if I were to make the door thinner, the way that we would see them used traditionally, we would actually lose all of this nice mass that we have. So why mill it out and throw it in the trash? Why not just include it in the door? So that's what we do. It takes less energy to do that. Plus, we end up with a thicker door, and mass equates to stability. So you end up with a nice, hefty, strong door.